welcome to I-24 News Sports Magazine, and today with a special edition dedicated to the young and successful athletes around the world. Does the sport world belong to young people? The answer is absolutely yes. If you thought Marc Marquez, the 21-year-old MotoGP world champion, is any exception, well, think again. In almost every sport, we see 20-year-olds dominating the field, and the recent Winter Olympics in Sochi were just the latest example. On the slopes and on the ice, competitors as young as 15 found the way to glory, leaving their veteran and experienced opponents way behind. Lise Barenbaum brings their stories.
They are young, beautiful, and they win medals. But what is their secret? In Sochi, there are a lot of young athletes between the ages of 15 to 20, already setting world records. 15-year-old Yulia Lipnitskaya lit up the Sochi ice ring with her grace, as the new Russian icon became the youngest Olympic gold medalist in ladies single figure skating. The same goes for Ayumu Hirano, a 15-year-old Japanese snowboarder who can beat older athletes in halfpipe. And 18-year-old Andreas Wellinger, who assisted Germany winning the men's large hill ski jumping. In the French delegation, the young talents are endless. Valérie Fourneron, the Minister of Sports and Youth, congratulated the athletes who won bronze medals. These athletes are part of a specific programs set up by the universities of Grenoble to facilitate their studies, and 12 of them have qualified for Sochi.
After this, I thought, this is huge. Now that I've been at the Olympics at only 15 years old, I'm in the finals. And I made the top 15. The goals I had, they were all made.
Maurice Magnificat won the bronze medal in the men's relay cross-country skiing, while Chloé Trepouche won the bronze medal in the women's snowboard cross.
I mostly thought about what I had to do all along the race, and most important, to remember to have fun while riding. And it worked to get to this medal.
But one athlete who made the headlines is 19-year-old Colleen Mattel, who won the bronze medal in the women's normal hill individual ski jumping. The talent of young Colleen was acknowledged early, as she has always shined in sports, and her thirst for adrenaline drove her all the way to Sochi.
Acting with some emotion because this is in fact a beautiful medal. Colleen, she was second in the first jump, so she made a bronze medal at the end. I'm really pleased for her because she really worked hard, and she's only 19 years old.
These athletes started very young. At the age of 2, they took their first steps on snow or ice, and when they were around 10 years old, they chose their favorite discipline. They trained rigorous workouts on weekends and school holidays during their teen years, completing their preparation for the bigger competitions. Sochi is a bona fide heaven where athletes can have soft drinks and junk food for free. This year, the local authorities have preferred to prohibit the sale and use of alcohol on site to avoid the controversies of the 2010 Vancouver Winter Games. The Olympic City can also be seen as a dating site. Athletes use the dating app Tinder to ease their stay in Sochi. And when they train and compete in the day, they definitely party at night.
Maybe it should not come as a surprise that success comes at a young age. In football, for example, all the big clubs put a big emphasis on their youth academies. These are the places where players as young as 9 and 10 come to train and adapt to the lifestyle required from them as future prospects. Many leading players grew up in Barcelona's famous academy La Masia, but this comes with a price. The recent punishment FIFA handed to Barcelona, banning the club from making transfers, has already been suspended. But again, it brought to the light the subject of young players' transfers, in which the clubs sometimes treat the young kids as nothing but merchandise. Dubious transfers on one side and the road to success on the other.
Last year, Spanish giants Real Madrid have recruited the services of a Japanese football prodigy who was only 9 years old. This kind of signing isn't a unique example in the football world, but lately, football's governing body FIFA does not hesitate to punish clubs who have gone too far. Just recently, Barcelona have been banned from the transfer window for the 2014-2015 season due to the transfers of minor players. This is a major insult to the Catalan club, which considers its famous training center, the Masia, as an institution. This academy has seen many generations of champions since its establishment in 1979, with top names like Messi, Iniesta, Xavi, and Puyol, who have been at the club since a very young age, growing up together.
FIFA knows that we do things right and that we worry about the kids, about their education, that there are kids that come to La Masia that receive an education that they possibly would not even receive in their own countries.
The training of players is taken highly seriously by big clubs. To avoid recruiting stars who are too expensive, teams invest in young potentials and take care of their education. In this case, France is considered as leaders in the field. In France, the footballers can start their training from the age of 15, as they follow a sports training and an academic curriculum. When they are 20 years old, they are authorized to sign a professional contract. However, just 20% of young footballers manage to become professional.
In France, we have the ability to train young people who arrive at the highest level. This obviously confirms that France has excellent training methods.
Although the French training is considered effective, many of its young talents often leave abroad. 13 of the best European training clubs are in France, as Spain and England are behind with 8 and 6 respectively. Lyon comes in at second place behind Barcelona, and Rennes is fourth just behind Real Madrid, far ahead of huge names like Manchester United and Bayern Munich. Germany is the country that has committed the most in the training of young players. In order to revive its national team, the 36 German professional clubs are forced to invest in this area. This kind of policy has helped talents like Mario Götze and Bastian Schweinsteiger to emerge, as these initiatives have created followers. Sometimes European clubs organize partnerships with another country for recruiting sources. This is the case of Barcelona, which has opened a football academy in Warsaw.
After screening them, we chose 650 children. These young talents will train for 1 to 6 years, depending on their age.
In Africa, football academies are numerous and are often used to save children from poverty and make them reintegrate in the school system.
I see many children who come from the poor areas who have a real passion for football. I said to myself, why not use that to get the kids onto the path to school? Because many don't go. They're from poor backgrounds.
Football is more than technical training and competitions. It is often a sport that can determine the fate of the young people who play it.
For years, Israel has lagged behind Europe in the way young players are brought up. It seems that now things are finally changing here as well. Football academies throughout the countries are set up, trying to give young kids the basics needed to become the stars of tomorrow. Leading football figures are involved, and European assistance is brought in as managers and agents come in from France to guide in their Israeli counterparts in the hope that someday these will be the grounds where such talent will be raised as that seen in Europe. Liz Barenbaum with the story of one Israeli academy in the city of Kfar Saba.
In this football field in Kfar Saba, central Israel, we are seeing the future of Israeli football. Young football beginners train here every day. Ori Sharf, former footballer and son of the legendary coach Shlomo Sharf, founded this football academy for children and teenagers 3 years ago.
This place is called the Emanuel Scheffer Football Academy after the former Israeli team coach. He took Israel to the World Cup in 1970 in Mexico. He was also the coach of my father, Shlomo Sharf, who was also the national coach of Israel. Now Shlomo is the technical manager of this school.
This is a serious academy where children come and learn how to handle the football 3 times a week after school. And they dream of becoming the next Ronaldo or Zidane. For the academy's coaches, training is a real education as the children follow a specific program. They hope their efforts will bring the students to future heights one day.
The work not started, must start in the little children, because they learn with when they younger, and I put on them all the basic of the football, all basic of creating to play football, and when they start early, it's more better.
Even though the training can be serious, the trainer's main objective is to inspire the rookies and entertain them.
We can recognize basic talent, work with it, and improve it. We can give them practical and technical advice. The most important thing at this age is to have fun and enjoy.
But the academy leaves nothing to chance. In Sharf's case, football is a family affair. Ori might run the training center, but his young nephew Tal is already making his first steps on the pitch, knowing who he wants to resemble.
Pelé, Zidane, Neymar, Ribéry.
The parents of the aspiring players are also happy to bring their children to training after school.
3 times a week, and every time it's half an hour. And training very hard, but they like it very much.
For Michel Ben-Gigi, former agent of Zidane, this kind of academy is the breeding ground for future top athletes.
Je suis déjà très surpris déjà par la qualité de l'entraînement.
I'm already very surprised by the quality of the training. You see that the children are making efforts. I even saw a game last Saturday where players who are 11 or 12 years old were trying to make passes and play with their beginner's technique.
De faire jouer leur technique.
Will he find a new star on this field? The children from Kfar Saba can only hope to resemble their idols, as they are happy to meet the one who discovered Zidane.
Yes, very much. I was his boss. I was the general manager of the team where he played, and there were also Lizarazu, Karambeu, Dugarry, all the world champions, in 1998.
And on the pitch, we can already see the young prodigies at work. Maybe in a few years from now, they'll be Israel's next football stars.
American football is a sport associated mainly, of course, with the United States, but the NFL is trying to expand to other world markets with games played in Europe and European teams set up. Surprisingly or not, they can find one interesting market in Israel. The local American Football League is gaining more and more popularity, and the secret is to get people into the game at a very young age. Football teams are set up in high schools around the country, attracting young teenagers to get involved in the game, and the results are surprisingly happy. It's not only kids of American origin who saw this game at home who come to practice, but people from the entire Israeli diverse society come and play. It's not the NFL or the NCAA just yet, but this is definitely the way to start.
American football is the most popular sport in the United States, but this game doesn't take place in the US, but rather in a Tel Aviv suburb in Israel. Meet the Kfar Saba Hawks and the Ra'anana Crocodiles, two of the top high school football teams in Israel.
My name is Sean Kibutzny, and I'm a quarterback for the Kfar Saba Hawks. I was at school and I got asked if I'm American and stuff, so I should probably play football. And I actually didn't. Never played football in my life ever. And I decided to try it out.
American football is still very new to the Israeli high school scene. Many players started to play the game just a few months ago.
I started playing football only this year, and it was tough, nervous, and very exciting.
Once a friend called and told me there's a football practice at a field near my home. I told him, I'll try. When I got to the practice, you see people who don't even know you, and you immediately see that they are willing to do anything for you. And then I knew it. All this love and aggressiveness drew me to the game.
I think football can be a popular sport in Israel. It's a sport with a lot of roughness. I know Jews and Israel itself, they love roughness and they love this, and I think it can make it a big time.
Nowadays, the two most popular sports in Israel are soccer and basketball. And although football could not really threaten them, the new sport can definitely expand.
I think it has all the components of what the Israeli, I don't know if in total mentality, but a couple of very important aspects: physicality, aggressiveness, toughness. So all that together come in and just play a factor in growth of football in Israel.
Itai Ashkenazi, son of the former Israeli Chief of Staff Gabi Ashkenazi, coaches the champions, the Kfar Saba Hawks, that dismantled the Ra'anana Crocodiles 64-18. But the score was not the main issue Saturday evening in Kfar Saba. For the Israeli high school kids, the chance to play a new and exciting sport in front of their family and friends was a big deal, and a great chance to exhibit their camaraderie and toughness before their graduation, which precedes their enlistment to the Israeli army.
I definitely think football can help prepare you for military service. Mostly, I guess it's the same thing. I mean, if you think about it, you're going with the best friends and people you love into a battlefield to achieve one thing, and that's victory.
And there are grown-up teams involving Jews and Arabs, secular and religious. Football, as sports always does, unites people. So, whether it's American football or regular football, the one Americans call soccer, it seems that finally the people leading Israeli sports realize it's the youth we have to put an emphasis on. We are sure that the hard work of today will pay off tomorrow. That's it for this special edition. You can watch this and every other edition on our website at i24news.tv. We're also on Facebook and on Twitter. Thank you for joining and have a beautiful day.